ask you about Sam Carrick. You know, we don't have a lot of new guys. He's one of them. What have you seen from him? What have you learned about him? What do you know about him in terms of how he's going to fit in with the team now?
Well, last night was his first game, so
Yeah.
I haven't worked with him with regard to games a lot, like maybe some of the other players. But you know, a guy that's we're going to count on for face-offs, penalty kill, you know, some physicality, just a little bit edge to his game. You know, last night just going down there with a 4-2 lead, that line going out there, defensive zone starts. I thought they did a pretty good job. You know, and there's definitely a need and a role for that on our team. Guys that can go out there and play with an edge, and when the game's on the line, you know, be able to deliver the game. And so those are the opportunities we put him in last night, and I thought he did a good job.
Last year, on breakup day, you talked about capital, and I can't repeat verbatim what you said, but you kind of took shared responsibility.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering what the conversations have been like with him this year. Is it different than last year? And what do you see from him?
So nothing's changed with regard to that. The conversations from last year. You know, I think that the player is always looking for opportunity to expand their role, to have an impact in the team. And you know, I had mentioned that, you know, you target some players to try and help elevate their game, and you know, he was one of them, and it didn't hit probably the way he wanted or the way that I wanted or we wanted. And so those conversations were just to reset and come back into camp in great shape, which he did, and you know, find more of an impact inside the game. I thought his line last night was really good. I thought the puck was on his stick quite a bit, and to be able to have that balance and that depth somewhere in your top 9, wherever it pans out, can make you a really dangerous hockey team. And so nothing's really changed from that with regard to going into this year. I'm sure we'd like to be a piece of the power play units. I'm sure we'd like to have more minutes, more impact, and you know, I'd like to facilitate that if I can. Now, it's got to be warranted as well, but it's been a good start for him, I would say.
Does he have an avenue? At the start of last year, he was on the penalty kill at times, and after he's injured, I guess he wasn't. Does he have an avenue to expand his game beyond 5-on-5 on the penalty kill for you?
I think they're always, it's not that players aren't capable. I think some players have had a history of being able to do it, and then other players were trying to work in there. Part of it, I think, too, is if you can keep your whole bench involved inside of the game. So take away the 5-on-5 play. If somebody can touch the power play, their minutes can grow. If somebody can touch the penalty kill, then their minutes can grow. If somebody plays on both of those situations, then they become 20-minute players. You know, that I think right now we're focusing on the power play, trying to see if we can't solidify units and if he can be a part of that.
So I'll ask you about the penalty kill again. I saw Remy got a couple of minutes the other night. How do you think he can fit, and does he have, you know, a real chance to be a penalty killer?
We work with players all the time. They sit in on meetings, or they have separate meetings, or we work on it in practice. I would say that there's a possibility. Right now it would be with depth. There are guys that have, I mean, our penalty kill was pretty successful last year, and pieces are in place. That's not to say that he can't get an opportunity and make the most of it. He and Eddie did kill some penalties the other night. You know, sometimes there's in training camp there's players in and out of the lineup. So you know, if Mika and Kreids aren't in there, then that's 2 players out. It's an opportunity to look at 2 different players, and it's a balance too, because you can't just say, well, let's just try all these new guys. The guys that do it on a regular basis, they need to find their timing inside of training camp. They need to find their reads. They need to get comfortable with what they're doing. We got a new guy, Riley Smith, who's killed in the past, and has done a good job with it. He's trying to find some continuity with the system and with the person he might kill with. So I think if opportunity presents itself, possibly. He does sit in on the meetings. It is something that we work on in practice, and that's where you know, Will didn't kill last year, Will Cooley. And so he's gotten some minutes on the penalty kill. And he sat in meetings all last year, and he talked to, you know, he was working on it in practice because he wasn't necessarily always on the power play. And so there's a chance that through time that, you know, he might be able to take that step.
You mentioned that Mancini, you thought he could play on the left, and he was today with Fox on the left. I guess, what are the things you're maybe evaluating with him when watching him on the left side of practice to see if, like, this is something he could actually do at this level?
Well, I think some people really struggle on their offsides, and then some people don't care. You know, it doesn't matter to them. They go out and play the same game. You know, the conversation was that he had played it in the past, and so there's an opportunity for somebody to jump in and fill a spot right now, and so we're just looking at all possibilities through training camp.
The power plays that you have looked at in the preseason games, it's like you split up that unit from last year and you have two more, I guess, balanced power plays. How do you like that so far? You know, with Mika and Kreider on one and Trocheck and Aaron on the other.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Mika and Kreider's group has gotten a little bit more time, and so they're working through that. I think it's been good. I think you know, Phil's done a good job in the middle. I think Riley's fit in nice. I don't think that Trocheck's unit has gotten as much time yet, and so hopefully that'll come.
They're different too, though, style-wise.
A little bit.
Where they are.
A little bit, yeah.
So do you think that an NHL team can have a 1A or 1B, or do you think teams?
I think that some, I think some teams do have a 1A and a 1B.
Does this team?
Well, we're working through that right now. So.
I mean, you know, seriously. I mean,
No, I'm being serious. So if you're asking me if I like, I don't think the Trocheck unit has gotten a lot of time inside of the games. They've only played in one game. It didn't get a lot of time.
You're entertaining the possibility of having, like, you know, equal.
We're looking at it. Yeah, we're looking at it. Yeah.
Do you feel Zach Jones' confidence has grown throughout training camp and the preseason?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's played good minutes for us. You know, he had a big night the other night. I thought last night he was solid. I think when a player gets in there and they start to get confidence with how they're moving the puck, how they're defending, if they're generating offense, I think that can add confidence and build, yeah.
What do you see as potential for DeAndre this year in terms of, I mean, he's still a young guy, but he's been in the league now X number of years. Do you see him still having more to grow into?
I think so. I think there's you know, he'd probably say the same thing. You know, there's probably steps to go. You know, he's pretty valuable as he sits already for our team and what he does and the way he plays the game, the way he skates, the minutes he takes down, who he plays against. But, you know, the impact on the penalty kill, the impact on the power play, to be able to get out there and find those minutes. And again, I think that helps build confidence when you're feeling the puck and you're on the power play and you're doing good things. There's positive results. Those are good things. And you can build on that. You can build from that. So I think that, yeah, there's room. I think there's room for a lot of players to grow off of, you know, young players to grow off of their years that have even been good. There's room to be better.